Over the last several months, I have watched customer service take an exponential slide. I have a few theories as to why this is. People had several months in quarantine and they forgot how to interact with other humans. Businesses are more desperate for any workers, so they're taking people who are less qualified and then they're rushing their training. They're not spending as much time training them so they can get them out onto the floor. And maybe the pandemic just made so many customers so incredibly rude and obnoxious that all of our good customer service workers are just over it. So they left. Whatever it may be, there does seem to be a trend of people in customer service roles who are no longer able to perform basic customer service tasks. I've taught how to answer certain questions and provided pro tip type scripts to people for certain kinds of questions in many different industries. But if we take a step back and look at customer service a little more broadly, we'll find some overarching themes that can help you on the retail floor, in the food service industry, on your loading dock, or even intra-company support with your IT, human resources, training, workforce, payroll, whatever departments you have serving others in your company. Number one, all interactions matter. In information technology, at a service desk or help desk environment, I always say, if it's not in the ticket, it didn't happen. I use this to communicate the importance of documenting every single issue, call, email, whatever it be with a ticket. The hidden reason behind why this is so important is it gets you thinking about every single interaction in a more nuanced way. When you know that you're going to have to document that entire call, or reiterate everything that happened on the conversation, you're going to want to make sure that conversation goes well. If you rush a call, maybe it's the end of the day and that email just came in, so you shoot off a quick email without entering a ticket thinking you'll get back to it the next day, you have now neglected that customer. Don't write off any customer regardless of how you feel or your circumstances. A poor interaction may shatter the reputation of your company, but a good interaction will water the seeds of growth. Call it fake it till you make it, but if you're in customer service or selling your department, your service, your product, whatever it is to customers, and you do it with passion, you will become passionate about it and you will learn to love it. I have said don't demonize the product because I want all my employees to learn to see both the good and the bad in what we support. So if called upon, they can deliver a confident portrayal of the pros and the cons of a product. As quickly as possible, break from the script. I can see through a sales tactic and it usually makes me uncomfortable. Not because I hate sales, but because I know the person selling me has zero interest in me or my well-being. And they're only listening to me to make a profit. Changing your tone from robotic to conversational, from formalities to relaxed conversation will likely help your interactions. However, you may need to start with some scripts, at least until you're comfortable with the process and the process becomes second nature. But you shouldn't be dependent on your scripts to serve the customer. Number two, set expectations. Don't make empty promises. Don't overreach for the sake of service. I see this all the time, where a customer service rep will stay on the phone trying to help someone with something that rep is unable to do. They don't have the access to do it or the knowledge to do it, but suddenly they feel like they need to help that person out. This is where my 15-minute rule comes in. In 15 minutes or less, you should have the information to either solve the customer's issue or you should have gathered enough information to hand it off to those who can solve the issue. It's not about rushing the caller. It's about not wasting their time or your time. If you can't solve the issue, be honest with yourself and with the customer. If you've ever sat on the phone with customer service for hours while they bounced you around from department to department, placing you on hold, asking you for the exact same information repeatedly that you've already provided to the one before them, you know how frustrating it is. Get their info, get them off the phone, do the research, call them back. Don't make them wait while you figure your stuff out. Set expectations up front. Don't say, I'll get right on that, unless you actually are going to get right on that and do nothing else besides work on that issue right now. Don't say, I'm sending it to them right now, without a clarification of what that means. Something like typical turnaround time on these issues is 2 to 5 business days. If you don't hear anything from us in a couple days, please feel free to call us back and check on the status of your issue. Number 3, Customers come first. The customer is always right is a fallacy. The customer is rarely right. In fact, they are almost always misinformed. But they believe they are right. It's our job to assist them, and part of doing that is to know that the customer is coming into the interaction possibly emotional, confused, upset, even embarrassed. Understanding that those emotions might come to you and how to react to them is an important step in empathy. I've managed information technology, help desk organizations, and departments for many years. One thing that has always been a constant is that the phones come first. The customers who are waiting on the phone are waiting now, so we need to serve them now. Even if we have the tickets stacked up or projects backlogged, it's more important to make sure we help the customer who is here in person or on the phone. Prioritizing customers appropriately is key to serving them all in the best possible way at the appropriate speed according to their issue, their needs, and our staffing and availability. Number 4, always be available. You want to be available for your customers. Even if you're not, you want to appear available. Now, this doesn't mean that you're on 24/7 and every customer has your cell number. It doesn't mean you work 24/7. But it means if you are a manager, you are in touch with what your frontline is doing. Your service department is working and they feel support from both direct and upper management. As a manager, your customer is your employees. You should be available for your employees, and your employees should know how and when they can reach you. And they should feel comfortable reaching you when they need to. Related to the aforementioned expectation setting, the 15-minute rule, and prioritizing customers, you want to value people's time by being available in ways they can reach you and they know they can reach you. Number 5, the purpose of your business is not revenue. Profit is not a purpose. Your why is not revenue. Revenue is a result of your purpose, not the reason you do what you do, and not the reason your company does what it does. If your company's mission statement reads, "to make money," get out of there now. If it reads, "to serve people," you might be heading in the right direction. Number 6, customer service is everyone's job. I don't care if you're a manager, dock worker, CEO, CIO, payroll clerk, CPA, mechanic. Customer service is your job. If you don't deal with your frontline customers, you still have customers. Your employees are your customer. Customer service is everyone's job. So take these tips, take these rules, and apply them to your job. Hopefully, this helps your interactions with your coworkers, your employees, your customers, maybe even your managers.